You are too old to be showing up to family functions now with empty hands. What up, y'all? It's Seth Brundle. I'm back for another boxed menu item, and today we're gonna do boxed brownie mix, but not just any basic boxed brownie mix. We're gonna season that thing up. First, we're gonna start with the Neapolitan cake pop. We have brownies, we have vanilla icing and freeze-dried strawberries. Then we're gonna move over into our peanut butter cup trifles. We have 2 types of coconut to put in that thing. And then we're finally gonna end this thing with some s'mores brownie bars. We're going to torch some marshmallows on the top. We're gonna go into some diabetic comas. We're gonna die and come back to life. It's gonna be like an episode of Lovecraft Country. Don't miss it, stick around. We're gonna do all that right now. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is make our boxed brownie mix according to whatever the instructions on the packaging is. So we're gonna start on our Neapolitan cake pops first, but we're gonna jazz them up and season them a little bit. So I'm gonna take this out, break this whole thing apart. This is very important for our cake pops to form and do their thing and stay together. Otherwise, you're gonna have cake crumbles, and I know you don't want that. Just break it down as much as possible. So what you wanna do with these brownie crumbles is you're gonna put about a golf ball worth in your hand and just start to form little brownie meatballs or cake pops or whatever you wanna call them. So the next thing I wanna do is pop the top on our ready-made vanilla icing, and we're just going to dip our popsicle sticks about 1/2 inch into the stick itself, and then we're gonna stick this halfway into the cake ball. So now we're gonna form the rest of our cake pops, our brownie pops, or our golf ball pops, or whatever the pop is called. We got some next easy steps. Again, I told y'all it's gonna be really fancy and really delicious and diabetic coma inducing, but this isn't very hard at all. We're gonna take some freeze-dried strawberries. So we're just gonna take our freeze-dried strawberries, put them in a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, that's okay. Take a plastic bag and a blunt object like a hammer or a rolling pin or, I don't know, your stiletto or your Jordans or whatever, and just smash them up. But we're gonna pulse these really quick. What we got? I would say this is good enough. The strawberries don't need to be broken down all the way. You just want them a great texture for dusting, which is what we're gonna do at the very end. So we're gonna take all of this, put it into our bowl. Our cake pops have been sitting in the freezer for about an hour now. We have our strawberry dust and we have our vanilla icing, or frosting rather, that we microwave for about 20 seconds just to get it nice and loose. These are easy steps, follow along. We've got our frozen cake pops. We are going to take them off our styrofoam blocks. We're gonna dip them in our microwave vanilla icing. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate this until we don't have any more excess frosting dripping. So what we wanna do is take the freeze-dried strawberries and just dust our cake pops with those. I don't care if you're lazy, if you have no skills at all, if you have no finesse, if you're clumsy, this is something that you can handle. Stop showing up empty-handed to grandma's house. So we're just gonna do the rest of these same exact steps, and you're not gonna show up empty-handed anymore. Your mama's not gonna call you trifling. Your auntie's gonna stop spreading rumors about you being broke, even though it's true. Now you wanna pretend like your girl just got your phone. You wanna rush these back to the freezer for another 30 minutes just so they set. If not, that frosting is just gonna continue to melt because it is still a little warm, and they're not gonna be as picturesque as they are now. You see that? Let's get them to the freezer. I am a hoe for peanut butter cups. If you piss me off and you can't apologize like most people can't, give me a peanut butter cup. If I'm having a bad day, give me a peanut butter cup. I'm having a good day, give me a peanut butter cup. I want peanut butter cups. So this is my adaptation using a portion of our boxed brownie mix. We're gonna get started on this right now. We're gonna get started by making our peanut butter whipped cream. Very simple, I promised you guys, so I'm just gonna keep that thing going. First thing we're gonna do is start off with a little confectioner sugar. We're gonna add that to our mixing bowl. Then we're gonna move along to some vanilla extract. Then we're gonna go ahead and add our heavy whipping cream. And then we're gonna add a healthy portion of natural peanut butter. She thick. So the next step is we're just gonna take a hand mixer like we have here, a stand mixer, really no substitute unless you guys have really fast, strong wrists. All right, so it looks like we have some stiff peaks that have formed. Do a little test. If it doesn't run like water, it should be ready. So I am just going to take our peanut butter whipped cream that we just made and put it into our piping bag. If you don't have a piping bag, it's fine. If you have quart or gallon size Ziploc bags at home, just cut a little slit in the corner. Works the same way. Alrighty, so the hard part is done. We're just gonna assemble this thing. A trifle is just a layered cake. Don't let the name throw you off or intimidate you. It's just like me. It's warm, it's cuddly, it's delicious, and it's approachable. We're gonna start with our brownie ends. We're gonna put a couple of these 1/2 and 1/4 inch pieces in the bottom, just like this, just like so. We're just gonna sprinkle our store-bought toasted coconut over our first layer of brownie pieces. Then we're gonna take our peanut butter whipped cream that we made a second ago. We're gonna form a nice layer right here. Okay, I think that's about enough. If I was making this at home, it would be a lot more. Then we're gonna go over to some shaved coconut. So we got 2 different types of coconut. So we're gonna sprinkle our shaved coconut over our whipped cream, peanut butter whipped cream, and then more brownie pieces. And then we're just gonna repeat. We got our store-bought toasted coconut. And then finally we have our shaved coconut to go over the top of it. And because we're fancy, because we're seasoning our food, because we're us, we're gonna make this pretty. So we're gonna garnish this thing with some mint. Boom, peanut butter cup trifle. We have reached the last recipe for our box brownie mix. The first step for this one is we are going to add some butter to a pack of marshmallows. We're going to throw this in the microwave for about 3 minutes. We're gonna stop halfway. We're gonna give it a little stir and then finish it for another 1.5 minutes. Let me go ahead and do that. While that's in the microwave doing this thing, we're gonna move over to the graham crackers and we're gonna use our trusty, dusty, well, it's not dusty, it's very clean. But we're gonna use our trusty food processor again. Again, if you don't have a food processor, a Ziploc bag, a blunt object, you know, a heavy cup. And this time, as opposed to the strawberry dust, we want bigger pieces. I want them about the size of anywhere from a dime to a quarter. This food processor, it's turning it into dust. You just break it up by hand right in your mixing bowl. All right, so we're going to go get our marshmallow mix out of the microwave and we're gonna add this to that and make some graham cracker, kind of Rice Krispie treat goodness. So we have our melty marshmallowy goodness and we're going to add our broken up graham crackers to that. And we're going to slowly fold our marshmallows in. So the next step is we want to take a generous amount of cooking spray and coat our clean baking sheet. And I'm gonna take some of my extra graham cracker pieces just for the sake of aesthetic and place that on the bottom layer. Spread this out a bit. Now we're gonna add our first layer of our graham cracker mix. You gotta do this quickly because it'll set like it's starting to do now. You wanna take this out with a rubber spatula and just make one nice, flat, even layer. So if this sets too much, kind of like this one did in between takes, you just go ahead and microwave it over again for maybe 20 seconds. That's all it requires, 15, 20 seconds. Look at that, marshmallowy goodness. So we're gonna take our rubber spatula and flatten this thing out as much as possible. And our cooking spray is already working for us because as you see, our graham cracker layer is not sticking to the bottom of our baking dish at all. But I promise when this thing is done, it'll be nice and pretty and picturesque. So we have our one layer of our graham cracker layer that we're making for our s'mores bars. So I'm gonna take this and cut it in half as evenly as possible. It's probably not gonna be pretty right now, but I guarantee by the time we get done with these things, they'll be gorgeous. Beautiful. The skin will be flawless, just like mine. So let's take a spatula. We're gonna slide this into, so we got our first layer. So we're gonna take the remainder of our brownies and make that our middle layer. So I'm just gonna slide that right there. And I'm gonna flatten this out a little bit too, because it doesn't quite cover all of the surface area, but that's okay. I'm gonna cut them at the end, they'll be beautiful. And then finally, we're just gonna add our last layer, but I want that graham cracker to be on top. So I'm just gonna put that on a plate and I am going to flip it like that. Can I get it? Can I get it? There we go. Boom. Just flatten this out as much as possible. I'm gonna add some extra graham crackers at the top just so it has that beautiful crust. And then I'm gonna pop it in the fridge for about 15 to 30 minutes just so it can set. And then I'm gonna pop it out. I'm gonna cut the squares. It's gonna be beautiful. So let's do that right now. All right, so our s'mores brownie bars have been sitting in the fridge for about 30 minutes. So I have a cutting board. I'm gonna try to flip it and hopefully we get them to pop out really cleanly. God, if you hear me, you will not embarrass me on national digital television. All right, let's go. Don't we serve an awesome God? Don't we serve an awesome God? Look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna cut our corner pieces off. One of the things that I did off camera that you guys should absolutely do is when you get ready for this step, apply cooking spray to your chef's knife before you start to cut through it. It'll keep it from your marshmallows from sticking to the knife, so you'll get cleaner cuts just like this one. Chop off some there and then there. Look at how gorgeous that is. Look at, it's like Beyonce in the Black is King video. Look at that. Look at that, all golden brown. Delicious, tasty, shiny, it smells good. Okay, so final step, I am going to take a couple of marshmallows, place them on top. And because this is a childish dessert and I myself am very childish, I like to torch things. So I'm gonna turn on my butane torch. Isn't that beautiful? We got s'mores brownie bars. All right, so we started off with one basic box of brownie mix, but like I told you at the beginning, we're not doing basic. So we have our Neapolitan cake pops, we have our peanut butter cup trifle with 2 types of coconut, and we have our s'mores brownie bars. I've already tasted these, I've tested them. Frankly, I'm a little sick of them, so I'm gonna have my boy Q come in and taste them for y'all. You've been talking to the cake pop like a scantily clad woman this entire segment.
It's the one right here, I already know. What's your name, baby? Yeah, this is strawberries. Like the strawberries, it's not like that fake, like just powder. This tastes like real strawberries is around this. This is fire. That peanut butter is the best part though. Ooh wee. This is just amazing. The texture is just like you biting through just sweetness. Then it's super chocolatey and fudgy. That char on the top, it tastes like I was eating fire. This the one. This the number 2 right here. This number 3, but this is just amazing. Make these. When you bring these anywhere, bro, this is for the fam, this is for the wifey, this is for the hubby, for your kids. That's the one.
Q has gassed me. You guys have proof from another person that these 3 recipes are amazing. Make them: Neapolitan, peanut butter cup, and s'mores. Join us for the next episode of Season. You can follow me everywhere at Seth Brundle.